Okay, in the classroom, I would have you try one on your own to reinforce the fact that you know how to do this, reinforce what we just learned from the last video. So pause it, do this one, and then I'll give you a solution. Okay, here we go. I probably should have it all pop up, right? Step by step. So here we go. Here's the solution. I hope that you got there. There's a lot of decimals in this one. Okay. All right. So that is the solution of FIFO. I hope you got it. I hope if you don't have it that you can look back at this and see what maybe you did wrong. All right. Let's go on to LIFO. Same type of problem. All right. We have the same kind of information here. Slightly different numbers. But LIFO, I'll do it a little bit faster just because we just did a FIFO one. And there really isn't all that much of a difference. It's just going to be, well, you'll see what the difference is. All right, we're starting off with 40 units at a total of $2,200. There we go. So that means the unit cost is $55. We can back into that. 2,200 divided by 40 gives me the $55 unit. Now I'm going to buy another 80 at $60. There we go. And now I've got two layers, 40 at 55 and 80 at 60. All right. Important to keep the layers straight and to keep them in order, oldest to newest. All right. On the 13th, I'm going to sell 95 of them. Oh, I take it back. We're going to do the journal entry first. All right, so we're going to record the purchase of inventory and record the account payable. Okay, now let's go back to the grid. So cost of goods sold, we're going to sell 95 of them, which we have from up here. That's going to be our sales price because that $98 is what we're selling them for, but that doesn't factor into the grid. We just need it for this to record sales revenue. All right, we sold 95 of them. The question is, which ones do we sell? And this is the core difference. LIFO, last in, first out. We're selling our most recent purchases. So we're going to sell from this $60 layer first. And that's your core difference between these. You're going to sell 80 at $60. We're going to sell the most recent one. And we need to snag another 15 from this $55 layer. All right, which means we're left with, right, we had 40 and we sold 15 of them, so we're left with 25 at $55. That difference on grabbing the right inventory layer is the core difference between this and FIFO. All right, so we'll record that sale, accounts receivable sales, $93.10, and cost of goods sold merchandise inventory, $56.25, and that comes from the $4,800 and the $825 together from here. Okay, we're going to buy some more, 105 at $65 each. Let's record that. And now we record our layers, right? Don't forget to bring it down. 25 at $55 and 105 at $65. Okay, so then we have two inventory layers. Now imagine these can get really deep. You could have 100 inventory layers depending on how many purchases you're making. You just keep adding on to the top. All right, we keep it simple. I don't think you do any more than 3 at any point. So that was our purchase. Let's record. Oh, nope, we're not going to record the journal entry. We'll record the journal entry in a minute. And the sale, we're selling $115 at $100. There's our sales price. But we need to record the costs of which ones we sold, cost of goods sold. So you have 115, you're selling most recent. We're going to sell from that 105 layer first, the $65 layer, and we need another 10 we're going to grab from the $55 layer. And we're left with 15 at $55. Okay, so let's come on over here, do the journal entries. You've got your purchasing inventory, the $68.25, and then you're selling. All right, and these numbers tie back to the grid. All right, last piece. Let's total everything up. I'm not going to draw that T account for you again like I did for FIFO, but trust me, it's the same idea, right? You start with 2,200 plus my purchases, the 11,625, minus the ones I sold, 13,000, and I should wind up with the 825 as my ending balance. But if I was asked what gross profit is at this point, it's sales minus cost of goods sold. That doesn't change. So you would take your total sales amounts minus the cost of all the products that I sold, the 13,000 there. Oops. Oh, there, got a total at 2810 minus 13,000. You're at 7810. Gross profit 7810. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys another try it, pause it, try it, come back. I'll have the solution up. All right, and here we go for the solution. All right, so now let's talk weighted. Oops, sorry, there we go. 1290. There's your number. Sorry about the lines through it. Just was weird in the formatting. Let's talk weighted average, the third one. Weighted average, It's a little complicated. All right, because every time you make a new purchase, you have to recalculate the average cost of your inventory. This is why this is done by computer systems. But, you know, you're in accounting class, you have to know how this works. So let's start off the same way we had before. We've got 65 units of total cost of $48.75. So let's throw those guys in there. Oops. 65 at $48.75. So you can divide the two and figure out the unit cost is $75. Okay, so we're good. Nothing weird so far. January 5th, we make a purchase of $110 at $80 each. There's 110 at 80. Here's where it gets a little weird. I might have to move myself. Oh no, good. I'm right above it. So what we need to do is we have to calculate the average. All right, we've got 65 units at $75, and we've got another 110 at $80. So if we added them all together, we in total have 175 units. And the total cost of all those units is $13,675, right? So we're just adding them together. Well, we're figuring out the average cost per unit. So if you're doing that, you're going to take the total cost, the $13,675, divided by the total units I have, which is 175. That comes out to an average cost per unit of $78.14. That's the new number I'm using. So if I say I have 175 units in total, I'm going to say the average cost of those units is $78.14. Once I calculate that average, as far as I'm concerned, they're all worth $78.14. It doesn't matter that I bought some at 75 and bought some at 80. They're all worth $78.14 to me now, because I just calculated what the average cost for all of them is. All right, so I had to steal a previous slide here, so you're not going to, all of these little boxes don't line up perfectly. But we have 175 at $78.14. So now let's go to that sale. Oh no, let's go to the journal entry. We purchased the inventory, merchandise inventory for $8,800, and we credited accounts payable for $800. That was the purchase. Okay, so now let's go to the sale. The sale is we sold 125 units at $108 each. So the sales revenue is going to be the $13,500. But let's look at this. The 125 that we sold, they're all worth $78.14. I'm not picking from any layers anymore. As far as I'm concerned, they're all worth $78.14, so that's the unit cost, $78.14. And the total cost is $97.67.50. A little bit easier than picking from layers, but you do have to do this math on the side. So when we do our journal entry, we're going to record, we had 175, we sold 125, and so we have 50 at $78.14, because that's what they're worth now. So, if we went over here, we would record the sale, same as we've been doing, and we'd record the cost of goods sold that we just calculated. Okay, so come on back here. The 18th, we purchased another 135 at $90. There we go, we record that purchase. Well, now we've got to recalculate our average, because they're not all worth $78.14. We now have a different number. So we're going to take that, what we have 50 at $78.14, right? We're going to grab that layer. And we've got another 135 we just bought for $90. So in total, we have 185 units. And the total cost, if you add these together, is $16,057. So we want to figure out the cost per unit for just one. We take the total cost divided by the number of units I have, and that would come out to be $86.79 each. So there we go, 185 at $86.79, $16,057. That's what they're worth to me now. They're all worth $86.79. So let's record that purchase, debit inventory, credit accounts payable. Okay, that's for that piece right there. Okay, on the 26th, I'm going to sell 140 units. Well, I'm selling 140, and they're all worth $86.79. So there you go, $86.79. And I had 185, I sold 140, so I'm left with 45 of them at $86.79. And there you go. We would do the same kind of adding up that we did before. We would add them all together, get our totals. Our total purchases is $29.50. Our total sales, cost of goods sold is $28,918. Our ending inventory is $39,0555. So if we were asked what gross profit is now, sales price, same thing, sales minus the cost of goods sold is $72.61.90, and there's our gross profit. Okay, so the last journal entry, there we go, accounts receivable, sales, cost of goods sold, merchandise inventory. All right, so I will give you, again, for you to try it on your own. I made your boxes. Try it on your own, pause it, try it, come back for the solution. And here's the solution. All right. Hopefully you got there. We're going to do one more video. Probably won't take the whole time, but I can't add on to this at this point. It's already 10 minutes. See you in a minute.